Today I'll be talking about the importance of quantum physics in today's molecular society. Exactly. 3 of y'all just fell asleep. Y'all have no idea what I'm talking about, and I don't even know what I'm talking about because, I don't even know if that was a real thing. So, thus, I will actually be talking about lack of common knowledge in the classroom. So, why would I need to talk about that? Well, if you don't know what you're talking about, your kids aren't really going to know what you're talking about. But also, even if you do know what you're talking about, down to a T, you know everything there is to know about it, a lot of times your children still aren't going to know what you're talking about. Your children will learn more and retain the information more if you relate something that they know about. So, what exactly do I mean by lack of knowledge? Well, as I started off, a lot of teachers aren't going to know much about quantum physics. I guess unless you're a physics teacher. Let's just say most of your kids are probably getting taught because they don't actually know anything about what they're learning about. So, you're a teacher, so your job here is actually, to teach. If your students do not understand the lesson, then what's the point of them even being here? What's the point in you waking up and coming to work every day? Your job is to present in a way that they can understand. Here are some examples. If you're in a high school setting, Romeo and Juliet, you have one student over here that knows everything there is to know about Romeo and Juliet. He's seen the play, he's read it, he knows everything there is to know about Shakespeare. Perfect. That's amazing for him. Well, on this side, you have little Susie over here who has no idea who Romeo is, who Juliet is, why the Montague, she has no idea, right? So, okay, let's relate it back. She is in a relationship with little Johnny over here. So Susie's family and Johnny's family hate each other. And they don't want them to be together. They've hated each other for long before they were even born. Well, okay, Susie, let's say your mom told you there is no way that you can be with him, but you want to be with him for the rest of your life. You want to marry him. See, you relate it back until then, because then they can put themselves in that place. And let's be real, a lot of people can't understand Shakespeare language. 2 + 2, that is a perfect example of elementary. What do a bunch of elementary kids love? Candy. That's always a winner. So, what you're gonna do, get some candy. Okay, so we have 2 M&Ms right here. Okay, how many is that? 1, 2, okay? And then you get 2 more. Well, let's count all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I have 2 M&Ms and then I get 2 more M&Ms, that makes 4. Perfect. Now you can eat them, class. See, they relate perfectly. Gravity. Okay, so for a middle school class, almost every middle schooler loves Air U or any of those trampoline places. They know that if they step on that little bouncy thing and they jump up, it's going to feel like they're flying for just a second and then they're going to come right back down. So, why do you come back down? Well, that's what gravity is. The reason you're going to come back down whenever you jump up and you're having so much fun and you're still jumping, you come down because of gravity. So, how are we going to make this work? Well, when writing your lesson plans every week, all you have to do is take just a small amount of time and think of something that they can relate back to. No matter what the lesson is, there's always going to be something that you can have just putting in there just for a little bit to make it more relatable for them. So what's the point? Why is it going to help me? Like, that's just extra work. I mean, teachers are already underpaid anyway, right? Well, what it's going to do is it's going to help your test scores, for one. You're going to have higher test scores across your class because they retain the information. Also, they're going to be happier because they actually understand what they're learning and they're not just sitting there trying to memorize stuff to take a test. They're actually learning and they feel good about that. Also, you're going to have a whole lot more involvement in your classes. Whenever you pull out a container of M&Ms, you think that 20 kids aren't going to raise their hand immediately, even though they have no idea, but they're paying attention. Well, how are you going to do this unless you get to know your students, right? So you need to learn what kind of sports they like, what teams they like, what state, college team, whatever, what teams they like, what kind of sports they play, what bands they listen to, what movies they like, what they're into, what the newest movies out are, and their family dynamic. Do they have a brother or sister? Do they live with their grandma and grandpa? That will help you a lot too. How do we do this? Well, as shown here, you can download these All About Me papers and they will help you a lot. In conclusion, adding this small little thing into your classroom will help so many kids throughout the school year and make teaching easier on you. So, thank you, and please welcome Amy speaking on the importance of attitude in your classroom.